Hello and welcome back to the Yellow Squared podcast. My name is Ned. I'm of course joined as usual with my brother James. But this week we are very excited to welcome two guests, not one, two. Somebody is returning, James from the Watford Way, and of course a new guest, George from WatfordFCNews. Hello guys, how are you both doing?
Not bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah,
Not bad
good,
at all.
good.
I'm all good. Looking forward to this. My second appearance on the Yellow Squared podcast, Ned. So, looking forward to getting into all things Watford and, the special topic we're talking about today.
Yeah, there certainly is a special topic which we'll get onto later on in the podcast. Before we get into that, do you guys want to just explain to the audience a bit about yourselves and what you guys do? So, George, if you want to start with that.
Well, I just run a fan. I don't go into YouTube and stuff like that because I find myself that I'm not too confident, and I don't know if I want to say the wrong thing, so I sort of just stay off that for now. But I just run an Instagram, Twitter when I can, fan page for the last 7 years coming in May. So yeah, it's turned it from a hobby into something that I want to pursue into a career essentially, which is quite scary because I'm at that age now where I have to look towards that. So yeah, it's just making content, making graphics, stuff like that. That's gradually got better, and I enjoy it pretty much. So nothing really different from you guys. Just the fact that you lot are all on Spotify and YouTube, stuff like that. It's something that I'm completely foreign from, essentially. So it's different, but I'm looking forward to being here.
Excellent. Well, we're delighted to have you. And James, you've met our audience before. Explain what you do and where we can find you.
Well, my name is James, as you mentioned. I run the Watford Way. I'm a one-man band, so it takes up a lot of my free time, but it's something I thoroughly enjoy doing. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok now as well. And this season, thanks to Watford, we've had access to players, staff, managers. I just recorded an interview with Cadwo Bar earlier today as well. So yeah, it's been really fun. It's something, like George said, is very fun to do. And you can check us out across most social platforms.
Perfect. Right. Before we get into the main topic of the podcast, I think we can finally reveal what it is. We are going to be breaking down our definitive top 10 loan players from the Pozzo era. It's all come about because of how much of a revelation James Abankwah has been since he's joined on loan. And it got us thinking, wow, we have had some good loan players over the years under the Pozzos. So the main part of the podcast will be us going through our top 10 list and eventually cutting down to a top 5. I think we're going to go for, just because there might be a few rogue shouts in there. So if you are listening, playing along at home, please put your comments down below. We want to hear who is your top 10 or who's your top 5 as well. But before we get into that, some pretty serious news came out today. Aidy Boothroyd has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. So James, from my podcast, James, if you want to just sort of tell the audience a bit more about that.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Hey, everybody. It came out today, so I hope most people have seen it. I know the club have put some stuff out about it, but he was diagnosed about 3 years ago after a routine checkup through the League Managers Association, actually, and he's only just really felt the confidence to tell everybody what's going on. It's such a shame. That season was the season that he took us up to the Premier League. Was one of the ultimate underdog stories, and everything that he did for the club. I think you could argue he was revolutionary of his time in that way of how meticulous he was with his planning and everything that he did. And one of my favorite I guess performances was that playoff final result, and you hear the players, the ex-pros, and talking about how they just mentally beat Leeds on the day, sort of in the tunnel, just making a lot of noise. I know when Jaden Merritt was on with us, he spoke about that time, that team, and how good Aidy Boothroyd was. So yeah, we just wanted to take a little bit of time just to say that I guess we're behind him. Hopefully it doesn't affect him too much. We know he's a fighter and he's someone that doesn't really listen to what other people say, to his credit. So hopefully he manages to keep going for as long as he possibly can and keep staying in football, really.
Yeah, absolutely. We wish him the best with his treatment and how that goes, and we're all 100% behind him. So we've decided to come together because we all know how boring the international breaks are, but we have to discuss. There are several players that did actually go and play for their country, which is a massive thing for them personally, especially to come out of the championship as well. I feel like that league is becoming more and more prominent in the international scene across the world, not just in Europe. And we actually had 3 new Hornets go off to senior international duty. Ngakia, James Abankwah, and of course Rocco Vata, featuring for both Ireland and the Congo, which is fantastic for those 3. We sort of discussed this a little bit in the preview we did to the international break at the end of the last podcast. Discussed those guys. Massive achievement for those. And then just the players that are regular mainstays on the international stage, Chak Vitadze, even Bayo now, and Kayembe, all featuring as well on the international break. I think the main sort of topics, guys, from that, Chak Vitadze started both games for Georgia. He's becoming sort of another Kvaratskhelia for them. Scored his 10th goal for Georgia, which is impressive. I think he's remembered how to shoot for Georgia. It's a real shame we don't have a striker that we can rely on in front of him. Vata made his debut in a 2-1 win over Bulgaria. He didn't feature in the second game, but he got on in the first, and Bayo came on for his one sub appearance for Ivory Coast in a 1-0 win over Burundi. Guys, I'm going to open the floor up because I feel like I'm talking so much in the opening sort of 7-8 minutes. Any thoughts on the international break as a whole, and those players that have gone off to international duty?
For me, I just think, as you said, Ned, it's great that we have so many players in our team in the championship who are receiving senior call-ups. Obviously, the most notable players, Rocco and James Abankwah, getting their senior Irish debut, senior Irish call-ups. I think that is so good and will only increase their value for Watford moving forward. Yeah, I think it's great. Actually, a bit of a exclusive for you from my bar interview earlier today. I asked him about his international aspirations because he has 3 nations to choose from: Ghana, Germany and England, and he said his aim is to play at the 2026 World Cup, and he's soon going to choose which senior nation he is to represent. So I found that got quite interesting from Bar earlier today, actually, and seeing how aspirational he is for his career. So yeah, as I said, I think it's great we have so many players playing for their countries, and hopefully we have a few more as well.
Absolutely.
Basically, just reiterate on what James said, really. I mean, he's hit the nail on the head, I'll be honest. It's international break. It's one of those where you keep an eye out on your own club's players, not more England. For me, I don't really watch England unless it's the higher stages towards where we start qualifying for the major tournaments. But as he said, about Chak Vitadze especially, getting a goal in the Nations League, and obviously getting an assist as well, because like I said before we started, it's amazing what happens when we have a striker in front of him that can provide stuff for him. But again, it's one of those where it's a nice moment to see the likes of Vata and Abankwah get their call-ups, deservedly, I believe. So yeah, again, it's just great to see, and it sounds bad, but it can also be a nice little not an advert, but they can promote themselves to a higher club and go, hey, look, this is what I can do on a big stage, because it is technically a big stage, bigger than the championship. But it's nice to see that championship players are finally getting the recognition that they deserve, and they eventually get their call-ups to their specific nation. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, I think what I found interesting is that there should have been another name on there, not for a senior appearance, but for the England youth teams in Nabezada. So it's a real shame that he didn't go. But we touched on it a little bit in our last podcast after that, after the last game against, I've forgotten who we played. It's been so long.
Oxford.
Oxford.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
We didn't really turn up, did we?
Oof,
So,
a long day that was.
long day. But yeah, we touched on it a little bit after that pod, but I think it really shows when you talk about some of the players that are now getting senior call-ups like Vata, Abankwah, Ngakia, young players. For me, it really shows like how influential Tom Cleverley has been and the resurgence of the academy, that they're now producing people who are international teams and setups are looking at as viable options. So I think it's massive for the club actually, and it's a real shame that Nabezada didn't get to go and perform. But I'm pretty certain that means he'll get a call up for the next time around. Yeah, I thought that was really good. I'm really pleased. I'm pleased Vata actually came off the bench. I was a bit disappointed that Abankwah and Ngakia didn't get on the field, but hey, that's life, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly is. Certainly is. Okay, then I think we've done enough waffling at the start. I am looking forward to getting into this, and we're going to go from the start 10 to 5. We've each had a list of every single player who's played on loan for Watford under the Pozzos, and just to make it clear now, this list is determined on how they performed while they were on loan, not if they signed afterwards. So this is definitively how they were as a loan player. We had to clarify that slightly before recording, so I don't know if the people are scrambling to change a few lists.
I think, mate. I think it'll be interesting. Actually, I think we leave it as is. If some people have made a decision, then that you know, it just creates conversation, doesn't it?
It does. It certainly does. So, as I was alluding to before, we've all made our own individual lists. We're going to go through 10 to 5, all of us. Bit of reasoning. I think there might be a few changes in, especially 10 to 5. Then we'll go the big ones, 4 to 1. I think that's where we might all have similar options there. And then we'll come together at the end to bring together our sort of definitive 5, the best 5 as a collective that have played on loan under the Pozzos. So, James from the Watford Way, I'm going to let you kick things off. Let's hear your 10 to 5 and some reasoning.
Okay, there will have to be some reasoning because I think you might be surprised at one or two of these. 10, I've gone Akechi Anya. Could have potentially been higher. 9, purely for the foul on Anthony Knockaert for the Leicester City goal, I've gone Marco Cassetti. 8, Fernando Forestieri. 7, Adlin Guardiola. And 6, I think I'm regretting this slightly. I've gone Georgie Shakfatadze. 5th, I've gone Gerard Deulofeu, and of course I'll leave the rest for after. But yeah, an interesting list there for me.
Very interesting. I think there's a couple of names there that I'm not going to say if they're on my list or not, but I would have put them a little bit higher than 10, especially Akechi Anya. He's quite low on that list.
He is.
Yeah.
I think for me, there's players I enjoy watching. There's a bit of recency bias as well because we see Georgie week in, week out. And I think I remember players as well for big moments. Guardiola, his goal against Arsenal. Obviously, that was after his loan, but that was in the FA Cup quarter-final. You know, a great moment for everyone in that way. And Marco Cassetti, you know, wasn't the best player we've ever seen, but purely for his involvement in that goal, I have to include him. So, a controversial one for me, but I'm not sure what the rest of you guys think about that, but yeah, I was you know, tossing and turning with the order for a couple of hours actually the other day. But yeah, I've said it now, it's out there, and that is my 10 to 5.
Interesting. I'm going to pass this on to George then. Let's see if you can throw in some more rogue shouts.
Yes, so I did my list based off if they sign permanently as well. So
Okay.
I've sort of now got to sort of find a way to justify my decision, but I'll go with it anyways. So I must have spent the last week deciding who to put 10th. At first, it was James Garner, right? And I was like, maybe not considering the way he left. Because at first, when he first signed, I was quite happy. It was like, good signing. And then it obviously all went downhill towards January and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what, I'll rub that off. And it only got to about, I'm going to say, lunchtime. I had a look again. I was like, right, I'm going to shift a few players down. I'm going to put someone in a little bit higher. So there's a new addition in there that I've now got to try and explain for. So in 10th, I put Hamza Chowdhury, which is, again, I don't know about that one. In 9th, I put Guardiola. Mainly because of just Arsenal, the type of player he was, and just an all-round really nice bloke, I'll be honest with you. Ekechukwu I've put in 8th. And I've also, another one, is it Matthew Connolly? I think, is that his name?
Yeah.
I put him in 7th.
Great name.
Yeah.
Great name.
Mainly because his contribution in that 2014-15 season promotion when he signed was an impactful loan signing, and we don't get many of those at the minute. Like especially in January, let's be real, we don't really get an impactful signing, unless your name is James Abankwah. But he's my 7th spot, and in 6th I've put Nathaniel Chalobah in 12-13. Essentially, it would have been for the goal against Leicester that season, where he's just thumped it from about 30 yards, maybe even further than that. But also the fact that I saw him as a future captain when he first signed permanently and stuff like that. But obviously, we're going for their loan appearances. But in 5th, I've gone with Tom Cleverley as well. So obviously that would have been justified because he was captain material. He gets Watford, and obviously he's now manager. But obviously now that because it's loan signings only. To be fair, he wasn't bad either on his loan, so I think 5th, maybe too kind, but he probably would have been my top 10. Controversial, but that is my 5 to 10 for you.
Yeah, I really like Chalobah in there, to be honest. And Matthew Connolly, what a name! I think he gets overlooked quite a lot, but yeah, his impact in that season really it's immense.
Doesn't get spoken about enough, I don't think, because we got promoted and he just disappeared. Do I believe he went to Cardiff?
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but he just disappeared off the face of the earth for us. And then I feel like a lot of people don't talk about him enough, so I thought I'd stick him in, to be fair, because he was a very good signing for us, I believe.
Yeah. So there you go, Matthew, if you're listening.
Yeah.
All right, James, I'll let you go next.
Nobody talks about his goal. Nobody talks about his goal enough against Forest in that promotion season either. If you go back and see the highlights, like he runs the entire length of the pitch, and it's like a crazy 1-2 or something with I don't know, probably Abdi, I guess, and he scores it. So like absolute hero. Great shout there.
Perfect. James, I'll let you go next. I'm saving myself for last. I think I've got the most outrageous names. I think.
I've got a lot of time for this. So, all right. From my 10 to 5. So in at number 10, I've gone for Daniel Pudil, left back.
Okay.
40 appearances in that one season on loan. So real impactful player. And then obviously did subsequently go on to do really well for us on a permanent signing. My number 9 is Adlen Guardiola. So I think there's some similarities there. I think Guardiola, if I've been totally upright, he's in all 3 of our lists in the top 10. Which for 17 appearances is a decent going, pretty impactful. Number 8, I've got Fernando Forestieri. Yeah. Number 7, I've gone for Nathan Ake.
Okay. I like that shout.
That is a good shout.
I thought Premier League season on loan, given what he's gone on to go and do, I felt like he was a really solid loan signing.
He's a Champions League winner now, James.
Yeah. And it was all because of us.
Yes.
And his one goal was against Liverpool, I think, in that 3-0 win. So that's some good going. And then my number 6 is the beard himself, Marco Cassetti, and then number 5 is Chalobah for his season. So I've got Chalobah in my Milan list as well. I still to this day don't know how that goal didn't win goal of the season in that championship year.
Who won it that year?
I can't remember. I'd have to go and find out.
I'm shocked that he didn't.
It didn't win it.
That's who tops that? Genuinely, it's a loose ball and he just hit it like out of nothing. It's like, how do you not give him that? That's mental.
It's like
that is mental.
Like
I'm gonna quickly Google that.
Somebody's miscontrolled. Like,
I think it's Abdi. Abdi miscontrolled it. It's he just stumped it.
Didn't control a ball, and it led to that goal. Yeah, that's my list. That's my list, mate.
I like it. There's some good names on there. I'm a bit worried to share mine now. I think everyone's sort of gone down the same route. I've differed in some places.
Well, what you've done, Ned, is you've probably stuck to the rules. We all went with the impact after
we went rogue
after they signed. You've probably just stuck to the original rules.
Oh yeah, I mean I imposed them, so I've got to follow my own rules. Okay then, I'll start off. Number 10, Mbai Niang. Number 9, Andre Carrillo. Number 8, Nathan Ake. Number 7, Fernando Forestieri. And number 6, Nathaniel Chalobah.
Mbai Niang, for me, I mean, I was actually going to mention him as kind of my honourable, notable mention because I have to say, didn't he sign was it from AC Milan? Am I?
Yeah.
I mean, he was absolutely unreal. I mean, how many appearances did he make in total? I'm sure it's on
11. He scored 2 goals. One of them was a really nice one. Was it against West Brom?
Good header.
You're right.
West Brom. Yeah.
Oh,
very nice.
Yeah.
He was
How we got him, I don't know. I'll be real.
I think there was lots of reports about kind of like a lack of attitude, or I don't think it was that great at the training ground. But he really was, at that time. I think we were really struggling in a relegation scrap at that time as well. And he come to save the day. It was absolute mustard.
Yeah, I thought he was great. It felt like for a little while we always had that sort of one player who stuck out by themselves for a couple of years, just as a loan signing, which is why Carrillo's in there as well. But yeah, Niang, great player. He's basically just spent his entire career playing under Walter Mazzarri, so I think they must have a good relationship. But cracking player, scored a couple of nice goals. Carrillo's on there. I just thought he was. It seems like a really rogue shout. I mean, we saw his only goal ever for Watford, only league goal anyway. Swansea at home, when we bottled a 1-0 lead and ended up conceding 2 in 5 minutes after the 90th minute or something stupid like that. I just loved him. At the time, he then went to play, I think, when Peru qualified for the World Cup, he was there. He just really stuck out as one of those players. I think it's a bit of like the FM player in me just goes, wow, a different nation. It sticks out. Yeah. I think the other 3 have already been in covered, really. Other 4, sorry. Ikechenia's at 5. I've completely forgotten to do 5. But yeah, they've already been sort of rattled off. Nathan Ake, some player. I was devastated that we didn't sign him permanently after that. Same as Chalobah, really. That goal was special, and then obviously came back afterwards. But just on the loan spell, he was unbelievable as well. And Anya, what a great player he was in his whole Watford career after he signed permanently. But just his involvement in the Deeney goal, that touch he plucked out of the sky, simply fabulous. So yeah, he makes number 5. I think it's a bit higher than most other people.
Yeah.
He's not on my list at the moment, so
let's
not get ahead of ourselves here.
Okay, all right then.
I was just wondering, sorry, because I didn't know whether or not Guardiola has come up on 3 of the 4. Like, I'm just interested to know, like, from George and James, like, what attracted you so much to Guardiola?
For me, it was just, I mean, we mentioned earlier, he didn't actually play that much at Watford, but as a football fan, I love watching, a box to box midfielder, someone who's very tenacious, kind of in that area of the pitch, similar to like a Valon Barami type player. And I felt Guardiola had all the attributes to play at the very top level. He didn't do so for Watford. He had a couple of great moments, obviously, as you mentioned, the FA Cup goal. But for me, my list is more about players I enjoy watching, the style of football I like, and yeah, as we'll come on to, the rest of my list is very heavily attacker dominated. So yeah, Guardiola, lovely bloke. Actually messaged him a couple of months ago as well, and yeah, he was sound. So yeah, top guy, Guardiola.
I mean, I would reiterate what James said, but I think for me, it's just I like to be a bit of a nostalgia merchant. So it's like again the quarterfinal, that goal just to thump it in front of the away end of a lot of Watford fans. Must have been a great day out for those that went. I know a couple of people that went and they can't get over videos. Whenever a video pops up, they always mention it, going, "Oh, what a great day that was." But yeah, I mean, like James said, typical midfielder that just has legs and will just run until he literally just can't run anymore. So I like to be a bit of a nostalgia merchant, but for me, Guardiola was one of those for me, and he's just again a top bloke. So
And still going to this day as well. I think he's playing football
yeah,
still out in the Middle East. So
Wow.
Saudi,
yeah,
he's still going.
Still got legs. So I think he actually burst the ball at the Emirates with that shot.
Did he?
I
Wow.
think so.
I wouldn't be surprised.
At the time because he hit it so hard.
Wow.
I vividly remember because I was watching on TV. I wasn't at the ground, but I vividly remember them changing the ball after the goal. So I think he actually hit that ball so hard he burst it.
That is impressive. I remember. I think he came for not a. I think it was like a fitness loan from. I think he was at Crystal Palace before Watford, and he came for a fitness loan. And then I think he signed after that on loan properly. But I just remember those goals he scored away at Cardiff. I think they stick out more than anything. They're just two unbelievable goals, and I think that was a sign of things were really changing at Watford at the time, because you look at the players that we were attracting before, then you go, well, he's an actual player, like a real player from the Premier League, and yeah, he was a mainstay after he signed permanently. So I completely agree. But I'm not sure why I didn't put him in the list, to be honest. Now I'm thinking it back. I'll spoil it.
Would you swap him for Carrillo, perhaps, if given the opportunity?
I think possibly. Yeah, I think possibly.
If you put FM out the window, would he go in?
Yeah. If Carrillo wasn't from Peru, I don't think he'd sniff the top 15. So yeah, I probably would change him out. Yeah. Okay, then. This is the real crunch now. I'm not sure how much difference there will be. Looking at my top four, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of changes, possibly in the places that you've put them. But so we'll swing back round then to James, who kicked things off. Let's hear your 4-1.
Okay, so my 4-1 in 4, I've gone Tom Cleverley. In 3, I've gone for the maestro, the magician, Alman Abdi. Up in 2, I've gone Mate Vidra. And number 1, this is potentially controversial, but he is my favourite Watford player of all time. He is really what drew me to the club in the first place. That is, of course, Odion Igalo, the Iggy scoop, unreal. I loved his celebration, pointing to the sky as well. I love the bloke. There's a signed photo of him up on my wall there. Fantastic player. I wish we had him now. And yeah, what are your thoughts on my top 4?
I like it. I like Tom Cleverley. Is an interesting one to put in the top 4. I think purely because of what he stands for now, and there might be a little bit of recency bias in that, but he's not in my 4. But I completely understand the decision. Yeah, just another one of those players that we signed, and you start to think at the time, we are becoming a proper Premier League team with these sorts of players that we're bringing in. You know, they're not experienced heads, and you look at what he's gone on to do for the club, and yeah, I cannot blame you for putting him in the top 4.
And let's not
Exactly.
forget, he's a player of the season winner as on loan. It wasn't in the Pozzo time, seasons previous, but
Yes. Exactly. I think it's just what Tom Cleverley's gone on to achieve at the club. It's not very often that you have a player sign on loan, come back again, play really well, retire, manage the 18s, become the full-time Watford manager. He just gets it, doesn't he? He gets Watford. He gets what we're all about. And I think for that is why he is right up there for me on my list.
Yeah. It must be crazy if you said to him when he signed on loan for Watford, 2009 was it when he came to Watford?
Yeah, a long time ago. I was a kid back then.
God.
I mean, I think I was 4 then, so
I was 4. Yeah,
slightly
Settle
before.
down now. Settle down.
Slightly before our times, but I think if you said to him you would go on to have the career you'd have, come back to Watford, then go into coaching the youth for teams, and then become head coach, I couldn't believe what he would say to that.
And also, can I just say, going back to Aidy Boothroyd earlier, as you mentioned, he was actually a young coach himself. I think he joined Watford when he was 34 or 35. So there's comparisons to be made to both of them as well.
Definitely.
Not wrong.
Playing careers cut shortish.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing careers, burning desire. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
that's good.
George, then should we listen to your top 4? I'm interested about this.
Top 4, right? So in 4th, I've gone with Gerard Deulofeu. Again, I mean, it was, don't get me wrong, it was a good loan. Maybe put him in a little bit, maybe 2 places lower if I went off loans, not when they signed permanently. I mean, I went to that Chelsea game. I mean, that night was the point where I went, that is a Barcelona player right there. Like, I know you've got the Messis, the Neymars, the Suarez, but when you've got that man there in Watford, it was like that's a player. Because all he did against Chelsea was he had Troy Deeney run across, use him as a dummy with David Luiz just following him along, cuts inside and just dinks it bottom left corner just off that post. And I
took a slight deflection. It took a slight deflection. I have to say.
We won't mention that because honestly, that night, because I was there, I was thankful enough I had a family friend that wasn't able to go, so I was like, yeah, I'll go. So me and my dad went 1-1, and then all of a sudden it all just broke loose, and we ended up winning 4-1, which caused me to lose my voice for about a week. Let's put it that way. But no, just for that alone, I think 4th is a good one because again, he signed permanently that summer and was influential in our 18-19 season where we finished 11th, which is our record. So again, it's been I wouldn't say nostalgia, but it's just like it's a player that I will always defend, if you know what I mean, because just he was unbelievable. In 3rd, I've gone with Alman Abdi. Again, loan was good. Was it 12 goals he scored? Am I wrong in saying that? It was a high digit he had. On loan. So it was a good season he had with us. Again, nostalgia. Obviously, he came on and signed, and he just did that unbelievable stuff. He got the free kick against Aston Villa in the Premier League.
Well, that's it, George. I don't think we've had a set piece taker like him since he left. Honestly, we haven't replaced him.
Could not replace him.
I thought Georgie would be that man, but Georgie this season, in terms of goal scoring, just hasn't quite cut it for me. So yeah, we've still not replaced Abdi in my eyes.
The fact that it's been since 2016 when he left, the fact that we haven't replaced him is just proves how reliant we were on him at the time. Because we called him the magician because he would just pull anything out the bag and he would just sort it for us. And to be fair, Chakratansi could be on that magician level if we had a goal scorer in front of him, because he has that creativity that a player like Alman Abdi had. It's just a shame that we don't have a Troy Deeney or a Vidra or a Nagalo. But like I said, going off with Vidra, who is in my 3rd spot, 2012-13, that's unsung goal that got outshunned by Troy Deeney's winner against Leicester. Unbelievable. Just drops literally, it comes over his shoulder and he just whacks it across the keeper's face of goal. Honestly, if it weren't for Troy Deeney's winner, that would have been the goal to go. That would have been the goal that people would talk about. Not that. Obviously, it's an unbelievable moment. Troy Deeney, obviously, absolutely thunder blasting it into the net. But for me, Matthew Vidra, he had that moment of class for me. Again, I can't really explain it. He's an unbelievable player that we had on loan, and it was an influential. And it was just a shame it didn't really work out in the Premier League when we got promoted in the end. But he's one of those that I wish we had now, because it's just a goal scorer that would come out with unbelievable moments. And in number 1, I've gone with Odion Igalo. And I think, James, you went with Igalo as well?
I did.
Yeah, just for me, like you'd be in the playgrounds at my age when he was about, you'd be kicking a ball about and you score a goal. Most likely I'd be either screaming the names of Gerrard or Lampard or something like that, but 9 times out of 10, I probably would have done the Odion Igalo celebration where you point up to the sky on your knees. I think for me, that game against Liverpool with that photo of Harry the Hornet and Igalo at the corner flag celebrating, that was, just an unbelievable player for me. And again, like Jay said, I just wish we had a goal scorer like him right now, because it would probably help our situation. But that is my top 4 for you.
Yeah, I feel like we might all have quite similar top 4s, and there are various reasons behind that. Igalo, wow, what a player! What a player! If only we had a squad like that now. Yeah.
Can't replace him.
Irreplaceable, and especially in the Championship. Go on then, James. Let's hear your top 4.
Right. In at number 4, Keshianya. I put him in number 1 for that touch over his shoulder. He's just brought that down. That's unbelievable. And the fact that he was able to just pull away from everybody in like the 90th minute or whatever it was, and still have the stamina to sprint away from everyone. Unbelievable. I also put him in there because I thought his story is pretty amazing. The fact that he was released from everywhere and had to build himself up. Was it like a Glenn Hoddle Academy in Spain for a bit and all sorts of stuff? So he went all around the houses just to get back to professional football. And then his sort of first season back in professional football to drop a season like he did, I was just so impressive. Like, was it 29 appearances and 4 goals in that season? So Anya is in at number 4 for me. Number 3, Matej Vidra. I think we've spoken about him at length already, but George, your point about his goal, like in that playoff semi-final, what's even more impressive about that goal is that it was something crazy, like 12 games or something before that he hadn't scored a goal. He was just on like a crazy streak without scoring.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and you just have the confidence to have that ball come over him, and he's hit it so clean. Also, Cassetti's pass, by the way, unbelievable. So Vidra in at number 3. Number 2, Alman Abdi.
Our way around.
Most of the reasons I think we've already discussed. He's genuinely one of the best footballers I've seen in a Watford shirt, that technically, and what he did on the ball was just incredible. And I think he was so important to that season for the team and how he played, and then what he did subsequently after that. It was such a shame the season after he did his ACL or something. He was out for basically the entire season, wasn't he? So he didn't impact us, and we really noticed that I think that season. And then number 1, Igalo.
I think we've all agreed on that so far. I think we've all agreed on that.
20 goals and 38 appearances, and we were actually at the Middlesbrough game that promotion season at the Vic, Ned and I with Dad, where I was sat directly behind Guediora's like cross past the Deeney for the first goal, and I was like, wow, that's impressive. And then to see Igalo just take the ball and chop and turn everyone, and then just put it in the top corner, that was amazing. I think that was the moment.
4 against
Blackpool.
Sorry, scored 4 against Blackpool. Yeah. With 2-0 down as well. Just came out with 4. And to be fair, and until Bayo scored 4 against Sheffield Wednesday, that was the only player to score 4 for us, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure. So it just shows how much of a player he was for us. But
Blissett's the only other person, I think. Or
Chopra
might be 2. Chopra. Chopper is a good shout.
Chopper.
Chopper and Blizzard. There's a few that
Burnley.
score for, but it's a very select.
Yeah,
And
I mean, very rarely
Vankenmeyer is
happens.
part of the list.
Oh, like how is he amongst those names? I don't know.
Oh dear.
It's a crime, really, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
I mean, when you think about it, I mean, that promotion-winning team, the firepower in that team is like unbelievable.
We had so many options up front. That's what we just don't have it anymore.
And you
just
four
don't have it anymore.
strikers, Forestieri. Unreal.
Can't have that now, could you?
Yeah.
Well,
If only.
Fernando
If only.
Forestieri, he was apparently training with us earlier this season to maintain his fitness as a free agent, which I found quite interesting. I wondered if maybe we might pull some sort of short-term contracts out the bag potentially.
Can't do much worse than Bayo.
It's not
For the
materialised,
vibes
has it? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You know what, James? If that happens, they'd be getting another shirt sale from me with his name on the back. So they're missing out on some money there, Watford.
Go for nostalgia.
Yeah. Okay, I'll finish things off with my top four then. So in at 4 we've got Gerard Deulofeu. Even purely on his loan spell, I think the signing at the time, I remember thinking, like, growing up, watching Match of the Day, he was ridiculous for Everton. Went on to do things at Barcelona, and I just purely from signing him from Barcelona, be like, wow, that's a real Barcelona player that's had a good career. None of this Ray Manai nonsense. And the goal against Chelsea. Oh yeah,
We'll forget about him, especially with what he's doing now.
He scored 2 during the international break. You can't diss him too much. He scored 2
But
goals.
it's like it's criminal. It's like he must have been the trump shooter. You can't hit a barn door. I couldn't believe it. And he goes and just goes to Turkey, and what's he on double digits already?
Yeah, ridiculous.
Oh,
Maybe the club was the problem.
I
don't think that miss in the 0-0 at home to Hull in possibly the worst game of football.
Don't forget Preston. Don't forget Preston away. That was a bad one. I think Bayo had one as well. That game. Yeah. That was a horror. That's probably one of the reasons why Edwards got sacked in the end as well. Could not.
Well, we'll steer away from the man I talk because we'll be back next international break for a worst Pozzo players ever. In at 3, Alman Abdi. He's already been covered by almost everyone. Just did amazing things for the football. And what he did after he signed as well, just unbelievable. Key part of that team that surprised everyone and went so far. Number 2, I've got Igalo.
Oh,
I've upset the trend here. There are so many reasons why he could be number 1. I just thought number 2, he was unbelievable. Scored a bucket load of goals. Scored so many important goals. It's a real shame that it didn't work out in that second season in the Premier League, and it sort of ended a bit like I think a lot of fans are sort of pleased to see him go in the end because of how he performed that season. But it was just a massive shame how he exited the club, but came out of nowhere like so many of the other Udinese players. And just what he did that season was unreal. Number 1, he's been on everyone's list. It's Mates Vidra, and
I see why you put him, especially with the Igalo reason. I see what you mean, especially the way Igalo, the way it ended. Yeah, wasn't the way everyone wanted it to end. What was it? It just.
I think he
just couldn't find his jam or something, the way he was. Because I remember 2015-16 as well. Do you remember Old Trafford? Absolutely trying his hardest to score. And I think I remember a podcast where Deeney was discussing it, and he was just every time there was an opportunity to square it, he wouldn't. But when there wasn't an opportunity, when he should have shot, he squared it. He did it I think that could have been one of them where he just couldn't find his flow again, and it's a shame the way it left. Like again, what you said, I see why you put Vidra.
I think it just the way that football was changing in the sort of mid 2010s. I think that was the reason why we had such a fall off from 15-16 into 16-17, because I think teams just sort of found out how Ian and Igalo were going to play together. They scored a lot of goals in the first half of the 15-16 season and sort of tailed off to the end of that. And obviously Deeney went on to sort of become a mainstay in the Premier League, but I just think Ighalo he lacked a lot of confidence. His only goal that season in the Premier League, the second one, was near the start of the season at
West Ham.
I think it was West
in
Ham
the
away,
4-2
yeah.
win.
And he didn't
game, by the
hit
way.
the heights. He didn't hit the heights that second season. And it sounds bad that I'm saying it like this. He is second on the list. I think he's an unbelievable player. I just think the way it ended, I think putting Vidra in front of him made sense to me. And I know you guys are looking at me with
it's justified.
questionable.
I do see what you mean. Like, again, I mean, he had way more good moments than the bad at the end. Like,
Yeah,
we've got
yeah,
to remember that. But again, like, it's completely. I see why you put him second. It's completely justified. It makes sense, because I was fully expecting something completely different. But now that you've said it, it's like, you know what? I see why. It makes a total sense.
Yeah, and Vidra in number one, purely just not because of that goal against Leicester. I just think that never seen a player with so much pace and finishing ability. Just unbelievable. The goal away at Brighton sticks out to me the most. Not the promotion clinching goal, the one in the 3-1. Not the deflected one, the one where Deeney pays him through and the guy just sprints past. I think is it Bruno there?
Yeah,
their
Ball one. Yeah,
the
Bruno.
bold one. Yeah. The way he goes through there, the scenes in the away end, just so much nostalgia for me. He scored so many goals, and I was so upset when he went to West Brom the season after that. And I can't remember how old I was, 7 or 8 at the time, and it just crushed me. And as I said, it didn't for Ighalo when he left. So I think that's why Vidra sort of pips him at the post. But given that, we'll go on to the sort of definitive 5. I think given the rest of you have put Ighalo at number 1, I think we know where Ighalo is going to be in the top 5.
Yeah, he's definitely up there.
I mean, he might go 5th. We might go 5th.
I think you've been outvoted there.
All right, so
5-1 then. Are we going to
5-1 then? Yeah. Who's going to chuck out their 5th place then?
Are we going off loan, not after, where we
Just
signed
loan.
permanently?
Just
right. 5th. Someone put a name out there. Get me thinking. Someone put a name out there.
It's tough, isn't it?
It's
tough. I think if you're doing it literally on sort of the loan performance, then it's probably got to be.
I had Anya at 5th. He kept.
I was going to say. I was going to interrupt one of you when you're discussing it. It's like, he's a type of player you don't really get nowadays.
Not at all.
The versatility, the playing so many positions on that wing, play up front, at the back, anywhere, like both sides as well. I don't think you really get a player like that anymore. And that's why he was. I think if we can all agree on him being 5th, I think that's probably the perfect spot for him.
Yes.
Because of that type of player where he could play anywhere, was influential for us. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, we're happy with Anya at 5. 4 then. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because I think that the top 3 were fairly similar with all of us.
Yeah. So
4 is the
It's a toss-up, really, based on the list that we've had so far. It's probably a toss-up between Cleverly and Delafeu.
I was going to say Cleverly, personally, for me. Although, again, I'm not meant to, but I'm taking into account the fact he's Watford manager now, so it's a hard one.
Yeah.
But I would say Cleverly for me.
I would also vote Cleverly as well.
You know what? Should we break the rules a bit and we'll go with
Cleverly.
Let's be a bit biased. Yeah, let's be a bit biased here. I think 4th is relatively reasonable.
Yeah. We'll give him.
We'll give him 4th.
I just think as well, you mentioned before, James, player of the season while being on loan, not under the Pozzos, but I think if you're going GOAT loan player of all time at Watford, he might be up there. So
who was the last player to get player of the season on loan? Was it him?
Oh, hell of a question.
Might have. I can't put a name up there. I don't think they would.
12-13, there must have been someone. We literally the whole team
won
it.
I think didn't Deeney win it?
Deeney was it purely because of that goal as well? I mean, he scored loads anyways. I mean, he scored 20 after coming out of prison the same season.
We'll
which
find
is
out.
He's looking it up. But I think we can put Cleverly in number 4 just for what
Yes.
he's done.
Arguably, given the career he's had at Watford, both as a player and a coach, the most successful on this list, I would say.
100%.
Perhaps.
Yeah. I can get behind that. So top 3 then, guys. I feel like we've all sort of had this similar names so far. I'm gonna throw Abdi into third. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think I'll have to agree, only because he's third in mine. So I think at the minute, I mean, I don't know what the two Jameses are going to say.
Well, he's
Yeah.
also third in mine, George.
Okay.
I'm the only one that had him higher.
Okay.
I'm more than happy to go with the majority on this one because I think we've spoken at length about the others. Also, just coming back, I did research it. Alman Abdi was the player of the season in 2012-13.
Oh wow!
So he was, I believe, the last lone player to win the player of the season award.
It was bound to happen, wasn't it? There was.
He's unbelievable.
The league changing the rules because we had so many lone players. There had to be one player that won one player of the season that year. Okay, number 2. I feel like the last 2 picks are very easy to put in place. Vidra number 2.
I would agree with you, although I think Gerard Deulofeu missing out on the top 5 is slightly controversial. But I do agree with Vidra.
Yeah. Now that you said that,
he's the
are
only
we going
player
off nostalgia? Are we going off nostalgia here?
Loans. We're looking at the loans, guys.
I know. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I mean, what was it 7 games? More than 7? How many do you have? He scored 1 goal.
1 goal.
7 appearances, 1 goal.
I think if you're looking at what he did after, 100% makes the top 5.
Well,
purely on the loan.
If we're going based on Ned's rules, he doesn't make the top 5.
Yeah, okay. Let's get that out.
If you look at what Anya did when he came in for that season on loan, surely you got to take that into, I don't know, Barcelona, Premier League. It's really difficult, but
it's a higher level. I don't think it's a higher level.
If you're putting Deulofeu in, he can't go higher than 5, in my opinion. If you look at the 4 names after that on the list, the only player you would change is Anya, I think.
Yeah.
It's just annoying that 2012 to 2015 was so low dominant in terms of the quality that we found and we loaned in. It's a shame we don't have that sort of thing now, to be brutally honest. I mean, I know that there's a loan limit now because of it, but there's not really a name now.
Could you argue though, even if you do look at it at more than just the loan signing, were Vidra and Igalo more impactful and influential in their Watford career than Deulofeu? That's a big question because you could argue Deulofeu single-handedly got us to an FA Cup final, but Vidra and Igalo
I would say
got us to the Premier League and scored goals to keep us in the Premier League.
Yeah,
open-ended question, really, isn't it? It's a tough one.
Very tough. I mean, because they've come at such different times with Watford.
Different eras.
Deulofeu really took us to the next level in the Premier League, where we were sort of basically battling against relegation every year, other than the first season. Then he took us on to best place finish in the Premier League, battling for Europe most of the year.
Scored 10 goals
by himself. Scored a lot of goals.
10 goals in the league that season. I mean, every single season that we got promoted from into the Premier League, so 15 to 2019, apart from 2016, 2015, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, we were predicted to be relatively down the bottom. It was only until 1920 where we were predicted to be in that bottom part, and look what happens. It's mental. It's just like you can't. It's like I know it's another topic, but it's sort of you look back and go, "What the hell went wrong?"
Mental.
Wow.
That the side that got
That's another
relegated.
podcast, I think.
It is. It really is. We just sit here and go, what went wrong? Because it was the strongest team we ever had. But what
Yeah.
didn't help was having 3-4 coaches in one season. So it's
Or lying to the players about bonuses.
that didn't help.
I think we shift cleverly down to 5. Delafay comes in at 4.
Okay.
And then Anya drops out.
I'm happy to go with that. I am happy to go with that.
I think we have to go with something, otherwise we'll be here all night. So
Yeah.
we'll go with that.
Yeah.
We're reaching the hour mark here.
So
I think
Cleverly 5, Delafay 4, Abdi at 3, and then surely 2 and 1. Now we can say Vidra at 2, Igalo at 1.
100%.
Yes.
For me.
There you have
100%.
it.
If everyone's happy.
Surely.
We got there in the end with some slight bending of the rules at times.
It's allowed. Cleverly's allowed. Yeah, that is the definitive 5, isn't it? Cleverly, Delafeu, Abdi, Vidra, Igala. I mean, if we had those 5 players now, wow! Imagine what we can do
in their prime as well.
In their prime.
Make that an FM save. Make that into an FM database.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. That is our definitive 5. If you disagree vigorously, put down in the comments below. Leave a comment on Spotify. You can leave comments on Spotify now, which is mental. But yeah, please do get in touch. Let's hear your lists. I'll be forwarding them on to everyone. And I'm interested to see. I think I was the only one who had a real some strange names in there. Carrillo especially.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But we'd love to hear what you guys listening at home think of the list, and also if there's any changes you'd make. Please do get in touch. So, gents, before we end the podcast, there is actually a team at Watford playing now. And we are back in action after the international break. Finally, Plymouth at home, 12:30 kickoff again, thanks to Sky. Let's hear some predictions, because I've seen a lot of EFL talk over the past few days, and it seems like people are saying Plymouth might get something from it. Watford don't have anything to play for. Players might be on the beach already, that sort of stuff. So I'm interested to see what you guys think.
For me, speaking to Quadway Bar earlier today, the players, the staff, they're all still very adamant and confident that the playoffs are achievable. Bar especially still thinks that it's very much a possibility. I think I said to Ned the other day, actually, that this game, does have the potential to be a banana skin. Plymouth fans do think they're relegated. I think there might be a 5-point gap now towards the bottom of the table. But I'm always the optimist. I think we can do it. If Bar returns, of course, I'd love to see a sub appearance from Quadway Bar. We very much missed him. So, yeah, for me, I'm looking forward to the game. We've still got quite a few injury problems as well, but I'm going to go with a 2-1 Watford victory at Vicarage Road.
Excellent.
I'm just taking a look now at the form for Plymouth, and they just about lost Derby, beating Portsmouth the week before that. I don't know. It's going to be one of those games, isn't it? It is going to be a team, whoever turns up, I think. Whoever turns up wins. Early kickoff, a bit rubbish. I don't think Watford really turn up on an early kickoff. I never feel like they do. But like James said, it's going to be whoever wants it more, whoever's going to turn up. And I'd like to see as well Bar come back in, because we have missed him. There's a couple of results that you can look back on, like Millwall, Stoke, Oxford last 2 weeks ago, and go, probably could have got something out of those games if Bar was on the pitch, because he's a type of player that you can bring off the bench against tired legs and win something off it. Because I think it worked against Sunderland where we got a penalty off it because there was just tired legs. I think it was Dan O'Neill that tackled him on the floor because, again, tired legs. So it's one of those where hopefully we can get something out of it, depending on if Bar plays. So if Bar makes some sort of appearance, I'm going to go with a nail-biting 1-0 win for Watford. I feel like we'll get our clean sheet back at home and continue that form at home. We'll not conceding the goal, but I think it'll be a bit nail-biting. So that's my prediction, 1-0.
James?
I am forever nervous about watching Watford play, so I'm never particularly confident. However, I want to fall more down on the side of you lads. I do think we've got a chance. Clearly, Plymouth had a bad season. I worry about us defensively because I don't think we've got any defenders. And I'm just not the biggest Serie A fan, I'm afraid, with the way that Cleverley wants to play now. So that said, I do think we will have enough. I think it will be similar to Swansea. So I'm going to say a scrappy 1-0, I think.
I don't feel confident, but I just think the last time we played Plymouth, they were hideously bad defensively. We played some really good stuff in the first half, and if it wasn't for Andre Gray, of course, Andre Gray would score against us.
Could have put a mortgage on that.
Yeah,
could have put a mortgage on that.
Of course, but he's obviously not with club anymore. So I would like to say Cleverley has instilled a much better mentality in this team than it has been in previous seasons. I don't think that the players will be on the beach. If they still firmly believe, as James said, if they still firmly believe that there is a chance of the playoffs, then they'll 100% give it all and go for it. Love to see Quadwo come back. I wouldn't want to rush him. So if he's not ready, I'm happy to leave it. And, it's Plymouth. We could probably get by without him easily, or not easily, but would get by with him fine.
I'd love to see a bit of Caleb Wiley in this game then, actually, because he's not had a start at Watford yet, and I'm not a huge Yasser Larouchi fan myself, so Caleb Wiley for me is another shout.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see, especially he's much more attacking minded, so I think if he's got bags of pace, we haven't really seen it much yet at all. So bags of pace, that's what people say about him. Attacking minded, maybe it's right to give him a start and just let him run at the Plymouth defence. They've been, messy at the back all season. I think it depends if we turn up. That's the big factor. Noah Abankwah, obviously due to suspension, so defensively it's squeaky bum time again. Bringing in Serrata. But yeah, I think we'll run out 2-0 winners. I think it'd be quite comfortable in the end, hopefully. So I think that is just about everything for the Yellow Square podcast this week. Want to say a massive thank you to James and George for joining us this evening. We'd love to have you back again soon. It's been a fantastic listen, fantastic to record with you guys, and hopefully we don't get too much hate for the top 10 and then top 5. But yeah, James, if you just want to tell the viewers once again where you can be found across social media.
Very, very easy. At The Watford Way across all socials. My primary platform is YouTube. But as I mentioned earlier, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well, at The Watford Way. And
same to you, George?
Again, pretty easy handle. At WatfordFCNews. You'll mainly find me on Instagram. You can also find me on Twitter. I mean, there's very rarely stuff that I put on there because mainly Instagram's my bread and butter. But again, it will be the at Watford_FC_News. That is where you'll be able to find me on those platforms.
Perfect. And I've always Yellow Square podcast across every audio platform, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. You can find us all there. Thank you very much for listening. And we'll catch you again after Plymouth. Take care, everyone.